Imagine standing on a hill overlooking Istanbul in 1566, the heart of the Ottoman Empire. The city sprawls before you, its rooftops glowing in the fading light, a crossroads of continents and cultures. The sun sets over domes and minarets, illuminating a realm stretching from Vienna to Arabia, North Africa to Persia. This empire, vast and diverse, pulses with life as day turns to night. Woven through this immense empire is a single thread: Islam. Its teachings, art, and tradition shape every corner, binding together people of many backgrounds. This faith, born in the desert, now shapes the lives of millions in ancient cities and new capitals. It guides daily rituals, inspires architecture, and influences the rhythm of life. The Ottoman story is not just about sultans and armies, but about merchants, mystics, and families. It's about the ordinary people who traded, prayed, and dreamed beneath these skies. Islam spread here not only by conquest but through connection, along trade routes, in marketplaces, and quiet schools. Ideas and beliefs traveled with spices, silks, and stories. The Ottomans built upon what came before, creating a civilization both Islamic and cosmopolitan. They blended traditions, languages, and arts, forging a unique identity. They became a bridge, connecting east and west, north and south. Their cities buzzed with travelers, scholars, and traders from distant lands. Their rule was more than domination. It was about persuasion, opportunity, and the human need for meaning. The empire offered new beginnings and a sense of belonging. Sultans like Mehmed the Conqueror and Suleiman the Magnificent saw themselves as defenders of the faith, but also as visionaries shaping a new world. Sufi dervishes traveled to remote villages, sharing Islam through poetry and song. Their music and mysticism brought comfort and unity to distant communities. The story includes Christian boys who became janissaries, trained to serve the empire and rise through its ranks, and nobles who converted to Islam for status, seeking new opportunities and forging new identities within the empire's embrace. It is a tale of grand mosques, architectural marvels that still inspire awe centuries later, humble prayer halls, laws that govern daily life, and the enduring bonds of love and family that made this empire a living bridge across worlds. Why care about an empire that vanished a century ago? Because its legacy shapes our world. The borders, cultures, and even conflicts of the Balkans, Middle East, and North Africa echo the Ottoman past. In Sarajevo, mosques and churches stand side by side, a legacy of Ottoman governance. The spread of Islam in these regions explains today's complex identities. In Bosnia and Albania, centuries-old conversions still shape society. The millet system's influence lingers in debates about minority rights and religious freedom. The Ottoman Empire managed diversity on a grand scale. Looking back, we see the challenges of coexistence and the power of faith to unite or divide. The Ottoman story is a human story, and its lessons about power, faith, and identity remain vital. Every empire begins with a seed. It starts as a small idea, a hope, or a dream, planted in the fertile ground of history. Over time, with the right conditions, that seed can grow into something vast and powerful. For the Ottomans, that seed was a small Turkish principality, nestled in the heart of Anatolia, surrounded by ancient ruins and the echoes of past civilizations. Osman I, their legendary founder, led a band of warriors for Islam, Ghazis, who were driven by faith and ambition, pushing boldly into the crumbling lands of the Byzantine Empire. Their vision was both religious and practical: to unite scattered tribes, to build a just and lasting state, and to create a new order in a fractured world. The lands they entered were a mosaic of peoples: Greeks, Armenians, Jews, and wandering nomads, each with their own traditions and beliefs. The Ottomans didn't find empty lands waiting for them. Instead, they encountered ancient cultures, vibrant cities, and a tapestry of faith stretching back centuries. To rule such a diverse realm, they needed more than just military might. They needed pragmatism, wisdom, and the ability to adapt. They offered security and fair taxation, promising peace to peasants weary of endless war and chaos, and a chance to rebuild their lives. Artisans, merchants, and scholars of every faith and background were welcomed, encouraged to contribute to the growing prosperity of the new state. This inclusive approach made Ottoman rule more acceptable, even attractive, to the people they conquered and governed. Their empire was defined by its remarkable ability to manage, balance, and even celebrate diversity, turning difference into strength. While they expanded the reach of Islam, their immediate goal was always stability, prosperity, and the well-being of their subjects. The foundation was laid for a state built on inclusion, not on purity or exclusion, a place where many peoples could find a home. This spirit of pragmatism and adaptability became a hallmark of Ottoman success, allowing their empire to endure and thrive for centuries. Osman's dream, once just a vision, became a powerful reality as his successors pressed forward into the Balkans, forging a path for a new empire. The Ottomans, driven by ambition and faith, steadily advanced, their armies reshaping the political landscape of southeastern Europe. The pivotal Battle of Kosovo in 1389 shattered Serbian power, breaking centuries-old resistance and opening the gates of Europe to Ottoman expansion. This victory was not just military, it was symbolic, signaling the unstoppable rise of the Ottomans. For over a century, the legendary city of Constantinople stood unconquered, its walls a symbol of Christian resilience, until Mehmed II's relentless siege in 1453 changed history forever. The city finally fell, transforming into Istanbul, the new imperial capital and the heart of a growing empire. The fall of Constantinople marked not just an end, but a bold new beginning for the Ottomans, who now stood at the crossroads of continents. With Istanbul as their base, the Ottomans expanded eastward under Selim the Grim, defeating the powerful Persian Safavids and conquering Egypt, further extending their reach. The holy cities of Mecca and Medina soon came under Ottoman protection, elevating the Sultan to the role of Caliph, the spiritual leader of the Islamic world. In just 2 centuries, the Ottomans transformed into a world empire, controlling vital trade routes and ruling over a mosaic of diverse peoples, cultures, and religions. Their rapid rise was fueled by military innovation, bold and visionary leadership, and a deep sense of destiny that inspired both fear and admiration across continents. But as their empire grew, the question shifted from conquest to governance. How to rule such a vast and varied land? How would they maintain control and unity across this sprawling, multicultural empire filled with different languages, faiths, and traditions? How would they spread and sustain their faith within these new territories, ensuring the legacy of Islam endured? The stage was set for a new and dramatic chapter in the story of Islam, as the Ottomans took on the mantle of its guardians. The greatest challenge now lay ahead: to govern, not just conquer, and to shape the destiny of an empire that spanned continents. The spread of Islam in the Ottoman Empire was not just about forced conversion. The millet system allowed non-Muslim communities to govern themselves under their own leaders. This pragmatic approach reduced resistance and made Ottoman rule more stable. Non-Muslims paid a special tax, the jizya, but gained protection and religious freedom. Conversion to Islam was gradual, often motivated by opportunity, social, political, or economic. Only Muslims could hold the highest offices. Conversion opened doors. In places like Bosnia, elites converted to preserve their status. Beyond politics, Islam spread through culture. Mosques, schools, and public works became community centers. Ottoman art, poetry, and architecture infused daily life with Islamic themes. Over time, boundaries between traditions blurred, making Islam more familiar and appealing. The empire's integration was as much about culture as it was about faith. History is made of personal stories. A Bosnian nobleman faced a choice: resist and lose everything, or convert and thrive under Ottoman rule. For many, conversion was a practical decision for survival and prosperity. The Janissaries, elite soldiers, were once Christian boys taken through the Devshirme system. They were converted, educated, and could rise to the highest ranks, sometimes becoming Grand Vizier. This system, though coercive, integrated diverse peoples into the empire's core. Sufi mystics played a quieter but profound role. They traveled to remote villages, sharing a mystical personal Islam through poetry and music. Sufi lodges welcomed all, blending local traditions with Islamic spirituality. In many regions, it was these dervishes, not official scholars, who won hearts and minds. The Ottoman story is one of both opportunity and contradiction. Integration came through both coercion and kindness. The result, a complex, layered religious landscape. The Ottomans didn't destroy the cultures they encountered, they blended with them. They admired and borrowed from Byzantine, Persian, and Arab traditions. This adaptability was key to their long-lasting success. When Mehmed took Constantinople, he preserved the Hagia Sophia, inspiring generations of Ottoman architects. The result was a unique Ottoman style, a blend of Byzantine, Persian, and Islamic elements. In the Balkans, local customs merged with Islamic practices, easing the transition for new converts. Festivals and traditions blended old and new, making Islam feel like an evolution, not a rupture. Even food and music reflected this cultural fusion. The imperial kitchens and coffee houses became melting pots of flavors and sounds. The Ottomans saw culture as something to enrich, not erase. Islam was the unifying thread in a diverse tapestry. The result, a world that was both coherent and richly varied. The Ottoman legacy is complex: connection and conflict, tolerance and tension. For centuries, the empire provided a framework for diverse peoples to coexist. The millet system allowed communities to preserve their identities, but the empire's collapse unleashed nationalism and violence. New nation-states replaced religious classification with ethnic and linguistic divisions, often brutally. The lines drawn after World War I ignored centuries of coexistence, fueling ongoing tensions. The memory of the empire is used in modern politics, sometimes as nostalgia, sometimes as grievance. Its dual legacy, a tradition of tolerance and a history of conflict. The spread of Islam was part of both enrichment and resentment. Understanding this legacy is key to making sense of today's world. What can we learn from the Ottoman story? The spread of faith is never simple. It's driven by ambition, pragmatism, and the search for meaning. Islam in the Ottoman world was both a bridge and a divider. It connected diverse peoples, but also created hierarchies. The system was tolerant but not equal. Coexistence required constant negotiation and goodwill. The Ottomans showed that unity doesn't demand sameness. Diversity can strengthen a society, if respected. As we face our own challenges of coexistence, the Ottoman experience invites us to build bridges, not walls. The choice is ours. How will we shape our world?